Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about something that many of us struggle with: being alone. Too often we fear solitude as if it's a curse, something to be avoided at all costs. But what if I told you that being alone is not something to fear, but rather something to embrace? Many people mistakenly believe that being alone and feeling lonely are the same thing. This misunderstanding leads to an unnecessary fear of solitude. Loneliness is the pain of feeling disconnected from others, an emptiness that comes from a lack of meaningful relationships. On the other hand, being alone is simply a state of physical solitude. It doesn't have to be negative. In fact, it can be empowering. The key difference lies in how you perceive and utilize your alone time. Loneliness often arises when we feel misunderstood, unseen, or emotionally disconnected, even when surrounded by people. There are moments when you can be in a crowded room, yet still feel utterly alone. This proves that loneliness is not about the number of people around you, but about the depth of your connection with yourself and others. If you do not have a strong relationship with yourself, external relationships will never truly fill the void. Being alone, when embraced, is a chance to build a deeper connection with yourself. It allows you to listen to your own thoughts, explore your emotions, and understand who you are beyond the roles you play in society. When you can sit in silence without discomfort, when you can enjoy your own company without distractions, you will realize that solitude is not something to escape from, it is something to embrace. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with rejection or abandonment. They believe that if they are alone, it must mean that something is wrong with them. However, this is far from the truth. Choosing to spend time alone is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of self-sufficiency. It means you are strong enough to stand on your own without constantly needing the presence of others to feel complete. One of the most liberating truths you can discover is that solitude can be peaceful, even enjoyable. When you are alone, you have the freedom to do what you truly love without compromise. You can read, write, travel, reflect, or simply sit in stillness. This time alone helps you develop personal interests and passions that make your life richer and more fulfilling. When you learn to embrace being alone, you also develop emotional resilience. Instead of fearing solitude, you begin to see it as a necessary part of personal growth. You realize that your worth is not dependent on how many friends you have, how often you go out, or how busy your social calendar is. Your value comes from within, and no amount of external validation can replace that. It is important to reframe the way you think about solitude. Instead of saying, "I am alone," say, "I am with myself." Instead of thinking, "I have no one to talk to," think, "I have the chance to understand myself better." The words and thoughts you choose shape your experience. When you start seeing solitude as an opportunity rather than a punishment, your fear of being alone will slowly fade. By shifting your mindset, you will begin to appreciate solitude as a time of self-discovery and empowerment. You will no longer seek company out of fear, but rather, you will choose relationships that add value to your life. When you no longer fear being alone, you gain the ability to be truly independent. And with that, you find a sense of freedom that few ever achieve. When you are constantly surrounded by others, it is easy to lose sight of your own thoughts, desires, and identity. The influence of family, friends, society, and social media often shapes our beliefs and choices more than we realize. We absorb opinions, follow trends, and sometimes live according to expectations that are not truly our own. Solitude provides the opportunity to step away from all these external influences and truly listen to yourself. Being alone allows you to ask yourself important questions without the noise of the outside world. What do I really want in life? What makes me happy? What are my true values? These are questions that are difficult to answer when your mind is constantly distracted by conversations, obligations, and other people's expectations. When you take time for yourself, You begin to uncover what genuinely matters to you. In solitude, you gain the chance to reflect on your past experiences, choices, and mistakes. Without the pressure to please others or fit into a particular mold, you can honestly evaluate what has shaped you into the person you are today. You can identify patterns in your behavior, recognize areas where you need growth, and celebrate the strengths that make you unique. This level of self-awareness is only possible when you give yourself the space to think freely. Another powerful aspect of solitude is the ability to explore new interests and passions without outside judgment. Many people never pursue their true passions because they fear criticism or rejection. But when you are alone, you can experiment with hobbies, learn new skills, and try new experiences without worrying about what others think. This freedom to explore can lead you to discover talents and interests you never knew you had. Spending time alone also helps you build a stronger sense of self-confidence. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you become less dependent on external validation. You no longer feel the need to seek approval from others or constantly compare yourself to them. Instead, you develop a sense of inner security, knowing that your worth does not come from external sources but from within. Solitude teaches you to trust your intuition. When you are always surrounded by people, it is easy to be influenced by their opinions and doubts. But when you spend time alone, you learn to rely on your own instincts and judgment. You begin to recognize what feels right for you rather than making decisions based on what others expect. This ability to trust yourself leads to greater confidence and independence in all areas of life. Another important realization that comes from solitude is that your happiness does not depend on anyone else. Many people believe they need a partner, friends, or social approval to feel complete. However, when you embrace solitude, you understand that true happiness comes from within. You learn to enjoy your own company, appreciate the little things in life, and find fulfillment in being yourself without needing anyone else's validation. As you spend more time in solitude, you will notice a shift in your mindset and personal growth. You will become more in tune with your true desires, values, and goals. Instead of living according to what others expect from you, you will start making choices that align with your authentic self. This deep self-discovery is one of the greatest gifts that solitude has to offer. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with weakness, but the truth is, solitude builds strength. When you learn to stand on your own, you develop a resilience that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. You no longer rely on others to make you feel secure or happy. Instead, you cultivate an inner strength that allows you to face life's challenges with confidence. Independence is a powerful skill, and solitude teaches you how to rely on yourself. When you spend time alone, you learn how to solve problems, make decisions, and take responsibility for your own happiness. You no longer feel the need to constantly seek guidance or approval from others. Instead, you trust yourself and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Another important lesson that solitude teaches is emotional self-sufficiency. Many people depend on others to fill their emotional voids, using relationships as a way to escape feelings of insecurity or unhappiness. But when you embrace being alone, you learn how to process your emotions on your own. You become more aware of your feelings, develop healthy coping mechanisms, and build emotional resilience that helps you handle life's ups and downs without needing constant reassurance from others. Solitude also strengthens your decision-making skills. When you are constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to be influenced by their opinions, making choices based on what others think rather than what you truly want. When you spend time alone, you have the space to think clearly, evaluate your options, and make decisions that align with your values and desires. This independence allows you to live life on your own terms rather than being swayed by external pressures. Another way solitude builds strength is by teaching you self-discipline. When you are alone, you are responsible for how you spend your time. There is no one to push you, motivate you, or hold you accountable. This forces you to develop the discipline to set goals, stay focused, and follow through on your commitments. Over time, this self-discipline translates into greater success and personal growth in all areas of your life. Being comfortable with solitude also makes you less afraid of life's uncertainties. Many people stay in unhealthy relationships, toxic friendships, or unfulfilling situations simply because they fear being alone. But when you embrace solitude, you realize that you are capable of thriving on your own. You no longer stay in situations that don't serve you out of fear. Instead, you make choices based on what is best for you, knowing that you can handle life independently. Additionally, solitude helps you build self-confidence. The more time you spend alone, the more you learn about yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, and capabilities. You begin to see that you are enough just as you are. You don't need constant social interaction or external validation to feel valuable. This confidence radiates into every aspect of your life, making you more self-assured in your relationships, career, and personal endeavors. Ultimately, solitude teaches you that you are your own greatest source of strength. You learn to trust yourself, rely on your abilities, and navigate life with independence. Instead of fearing solitude, you begin to see it as an opportunity to build resilience, self-reliance, and unshakable confidence. When you are alone, your mind has the freedom to wander without distractions. In a world full of constant noise, social media, notifications, conversations, and external pressures, our thoughts often become cluttered. Solitude provides the mental space needed to clear your mind, allowing creative ideas to surface. Some of the greatest thinkers, writers, and artists in history have credited solitude as the birthplace of their best ideas. When you step away from distractions, your imagination can finally take center stage. Creativity thrives in moments of stillness. When you are alone, you are not influenced by the opinions or expectations of others, allowing you to think outside the box. Many people struggle with creativity because they are afraid of judgment or failure. But solitude removes that pressure, giving you the freedom to experiment with new ideas, try different approaches, and take creative risks without fear of criticism. This is why many artists, musicians, and inventors seek solitude when working on their most important projects. Productivity also increases when you are alone. Without external interruptions, you can fully concentrate on the task at hand. Whether you are working on a project, studying, or pursuing a personal goal, solitude allows you to enter a state of deep focus. This kind of undisturbed attention, often referred to as flow, enables you to work more efficiently and produce higher quality results. Many successful individuals make solitude a daily practice to maximize their productivity. Another benefit of solitude is that it helps you process information more effectively. In a group setting, ideas and conversations can move quickly, often leaving little time for deep reflection. But when you are alone, you can absorb information at your own pace, think critically, and make well-informed decisions. This is especially valuable for problem solving, as it allows you to analyze different perspectives and come up with creative solutions without external pressure. Solitude also enhances self-expression. When you are constantly around others, it is easy to conform to popular opinions or societal norms. However, when you spend time alone, you develop your unique voice and perspective. Whether you are writing, painting, designing, or creating in any other form, solitude allows you to express your true self without outside influence. This leads to more original and authentic work. Additionally, solitude fosters personal motivation. When you are alone, you take full ownership of your goals and ambitions. There is no one else to push you, so you learn to push yourself. You develop the discipline to set priorities, manage your time effectively, and stay committed to your work. Over time, this self-motivation becomes a powerful habit that helps you achieve greater success in both personal and professional pursuits. Another way solitude boosts creativity and productivity is by reducing stress. Social interactions, while valuable, can sometimes be mentally exhausting. Taking time alone allows your brain to recharge, improving your ability to focus and think clearly. When your mind is well rested, you become more efficient, creative, and capable of handling complex tasks with ease. Finally, solitude gives you the opportunity to work at your own pace. In group settings, you may feel pressure to keep up with others or adjust your workflow based on external demands. But when you are alone, you control your schedule, environment, and work style. This freedom allows you to optimize your productivity, work on what truly matters to you, and achieve your goals on your own terms. One of the biggest reasons people fear being alone is because they have not yet learned to truly love themselves. Many seek constant validation from others to feel worthy, relying on external praise, relationships, or social status to define their self-worth. However, true self-love comes from within, and solitude provides the perfect opportunity to develop that deep sense of appreciation for yourself. When you spend time alone, you begin to see yourself more clearly. You no longer have the distractions of other people's opinions, expectations, or judgments shaping how you view yourself. Instead, you can reflect on who you are, what you believe in, and what makes you unique. This self-awareness is the first step toward developing genuine self-love. Solitude allows you to embrace both your strengths and your flaws. Many people avoid being alone because they are afraid of facing their insecurities. However, when you take the time to sit with yourself, you begin to understand that your imperfections do not define you, they are simply part of your journey. Learning to accept and love yourself, flaws included, builds a deep sense of confidence that no external validation can replace. Spending time alone also helps you prioritize self-care. When you are constantly surrounded by others, it is easy to neglect your own needs in order to please them. But solitude gives you the chance to focus on what makes you happy, whether it's engaging in hobbies, practicing mindfulness, or simply resting. The more you nurture yourself, the more you realize that your happiness is not dependent on anyone else, it comes from within. Another powerful benefit of solitude is that it helps you develop a positive inner dialogue. Many people struggle with negative self-talk, constantly criticizing themselves or doubting their worth. When you are alone, you have the opportunity to challenge these thoughts and replace them with kindness and encouragement. Over time, this practice rewires your mind to be more compassionate toward yourself, strengthening your self-love. When you learn to love yourself, you stop seeking approval from others. You no longer need constant reassurance to feel valuable because you already recognize your worth. This newfound self-assurance allows you to enter relationships from a place of confidence rather than insecurity. Instead of depending on others to make you feel loved, you share love because you already have it within you. Loving yourself also means setting healthy boundaries. Many people stay in toxic relationships or allow themselves to be mistreated because they fear being alone. However, when you truly value yourself, you refuse to accept anything less than what you deserve. Solitude teaches you that it is better to be alone and at peace than to be in bad company. As you spend more time with yourself, you start to appreciate your own presence. You begin to enjoy your own company, finding comfort in moments of stillness. You no longer feel the need to constantly be around others to feel complete. Instead, you realize that you are enough, just as you are. One of the most powerful lessons solitude teaches you is how to set and maintain healthy boundaries. When you are constantly surrounded by others, it is easy to lose sight of your own needs and desires, often prioritizing the expectations of others over your well-being. However, when you spend time alone, you gain clarity on what truly matters to you, making it easier to establish boundaries that protect your energy, emotions, and personal growth. Solitude allows you to reflect on past experiences where your boundaries may have been ignored or compromised. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear rejection, guilt, or disappointing others. But when you take time to be alone, you start to understand that saying no is not selfish, it is an act of self-respect. You learn that prioritizing your well-being does not mean you don't care about others, it simply means you care about yourself too. When you become comfortable being alone, you stop tolerating toxic relationships. Many people stay in unhealthy friendships, romantic relationships, or work environments because they are afraid of loneliness. But when you embrace solitude, you realize that being alone is far better than being surrounded by people who drain your energy or disrespect your boundaries. This realization empowers you to remove yourself from harmful situations without fear. Setting boundaries also helps you develop a stronger sense of self-worth. When you are always seeking approval from others, you may find yourself agreeing to things you don't want to do or allowing people to treat you in ways that make you uncomfortable. However, solitude teaches you that your worth is not defined by how much you do for others. It reminds you that you have the right to protect your time, emotions, and personal space. Another important benefit of setting boundaries is that it improves the quality of your relationships. When you establish clear limits, you attract people who respect and appreciate you rather than those who take advantage of your kindness. Healthy boundaries create a sense of mutual respect, ensuring that your relationships are built on trust and understanding rather than obligation or guilt. Solitude also helps you recognize when certain relationships are no longer serving you. Sometimes we hold on to friendships or commitments out of habit, even when they no longer bring us joy or growth. Spending time alone gives you the perspective to evaluate whether the people in your life align with your values and goals. This self-awareness allows you to distance yourself from those who drain you and invest in relationships that uplift and support you. When you set healthy boundaries, you also free yourself from the pressure to always be available. Many people feel obligated to respond to messages immediately, attend every social event, or constantly be there for others. However, solitude teaches you that it is okay to take a step back, prioritize your own needs, and recharge when necessary. You learn that true friends and loved ones will understand and respect your need for space. As you become more confident in setting boundaries, you develop a greater sense of inner peace. You no longer feel overwhelmed by obligations or pressure to meet unrealistic expectations. Instead, you create a life that aligns with your values, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. By embracing solitude and prioritizing yourself, you build a foundation of self-respect that influences every aspect of your life. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and external demands, solitude serves as a refuge for inner peace and mental clarity. When you spend time alone, you distance yourself from the chaos of everyday life and allow your mind to slow down. This stillness is essential for gaining perspective, reducing stress, and reconnecting with yourself on a deeper level. Instead of being overwhelmed by external pressures, solitude helps you find calmness within. One of the biggest benefits of solitude is its ability to quiet the mental chatter that comes from constant stimulation. When you are always surrounded by people, social media, and obligations, your mind is often cluttered with unnecessary worries, comparisons, and anxieties. Solitude gives you the space to declutter your thoughts, making it easier to focus on what truly matters. This mental clarity allows you to process emotions more effectively and make decisions with a clear, balanced mindset. Solitude also helps you develop a stronger connection with your thoughts and emotions. When you are alone, you have the opportunity to listen to yourself without external influences shaping your perspective. You become more aware of your feelings, desires, and inner struggles, allowing you to address them in a healthy and constructive way. This self-awareness fosters emotional intelligence, making it easier to navigate life's challenges with confidence and composure. Another important way solitude promotes peace is by reducing the stress caused by social obligations. While relationships and social interactions are valuable, they can sometimes be overwhelming, especially if you feel the need to constantly please others or meet unrealistic expectations. Taking time alone helps you reset, recharge, and establish boundaries that protect your mental well-being. When you prioritize solitude, you regain control over your time and energy, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Solitude also enhances mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment. Without distractions, you can fully immerse yourself in your surroundings, whether it's enjoying the beauty of nature, appreciating a quiet morning, or simply focusing on your breath. This mindfulness brings a sense of peace, helping you detach from worries about the past or future. Instead of feeling rushed or anxious, you learn to embrace the present and find joy in life's simple moments. Mental clarity gained through solitude also improves problem-solving skills. When you are constantly engaged with others, it can be difficult to think deeply or find creative solutions to challenges. However, when you step away and give yourself time to reflect, you gain new insights and perspectives. Many of the world's greatest thinkers and innovators credit solitude as the key to their best ideas. When your mind is clear, you can approach problems with fresh creativity and logical reasoning. Solitude allows you to reset your priorities and evaluate your goals. When you are always caught up in the demands of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to you. Spending time alone gives you the chance to reassess your values, passions, and aspirations. It helps you eliminate distractions and refocus on what brings you fulfillment and purpose. This sense of clarity empowers you to make decisions that align with your true self. Ultimately, solitude helps you cultivate inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. Instead of seeking happiness through constant social interaction, achievements, or material success, you learn to find contentment within yourself. You develop a sense of calm and stability that remains with you even in difficult times. By embracing solitude, you gain the ability to navigate life with a peaceful mind and a clear heart. Many people seek approval from others to feel worthy or confident. Whether it's through social media likes, compliments, or recognition from peers, external validation can become an addictive source of self-worth. However, when you embrace solitude, you begin to realize that your value does not depend on how others perceive you. You learn to validate yourself from within rather than constantly looking for reassurance from the outside world. Spending time alone allows you to separate your true self from the expectations of others. When you are always surrounded by people, their opinions, judgments, and influences can shape your decisions and self-image. You may find yourself doing things not because they align with your values, but because you fear judgment or want approval. Solitude gives you the space to reflect on who you truly are, helping you make choices that are authentic rather than influenced by social pressure. When you stop relying on external validation, you gain a deeper sense of confidence. Instead of questioning yourself or needing constant reassurance, you trust your instincts and beliefs. You become more secure in your abilities, personality, and decisions. This self-assurance allows you to live life on your own terms, rather than seeking permission or validation from others before taking action. Solitude also helps you break free from comparison. In today's world, people often measure their success, beauty, or happiness based on what they see from others, especially on social media. This comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. However, when you spend time alone, you shift your focus inward. You begin to appreciate your own journey instead of constantly measuring yourself against others. This mindset allows you to develop genuine self-acceptance. Another key benefit of letting go of external validation is that it strengthens your decision-making skills. When you rely too much on others' opinions, you may second-guess yourself or make choices based on what will please them rather than what is best for you. Solitude gives you the opportunity to listen to your own voice without interference. As you become more confident in your ability to make independent decisions, you rely less on outside approval. When you no longer seek validation from others, you also experience more emotional freedom. Constantly worrying about what people think can be exhausting and stressful. It can make you feel anxious about your choices, hesitant to express your true self and afraid of failure. However, when you cultivate inner validation, you free yourself from this burden. You become more comfortable with who you are, allowing you to live with a sense of peace and authenticity. Letting go of the need for external validation also improves your relationships. When you no longer depend on others for your self-worth, you approach relationships with confidence rather than insecurity. You stop seeking constant approval, which allows for more genuine and balanced connections. Instead of needing people to make you feel good about yourself, you share your life with them because you truly enjoy their presence. Ultimately, learning to validate yourself leads to true self-empowerment. You become the source of your own confidence, happiness, and motivation. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others or conform to expectations that do not align with your true self. By embracing solitude and relying on internal validation, you gain the freedom to live a life that is true to you. When you become comfortable being alone, you stop depending on others to fill emotional voids. Many people rush into relationships, whether friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional connections, out of fear of loneliness rather than genuine compatibility. However, when you embrace solitude, you develop a sense of self-sufficiency that allows you to choose relationships based on true connection rather than neediness. This shift leads to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Solitude gives you the time and space to reflect on the kind of relationships you truly want. When you are constantly surrounded by people, it is easy to get caught up in social obligations and expectations without considering if those connections align with your values and goals. Spending time alone helps you identify what qualities you appreciate in others and what behaviors you will no longer tolerate. This clarity helps you form relationships that are built on respect, trust, and shared values. When you no longer fear being alone, you stop settling for toxic or one-sided relationships. Many people remain in unhealthy friendships or partnerships simply because they don't want to be alone. But solitude teaches you that your happiness is not dependent on others, it comes from within. As a result, you develop the strength to walk away from relationships that drain your energy, disrespect your boundaries, or bring negativity into your life. Embracing solitude also helps you bring a stronger, more authentic version of yourself into your relationships. When you spend time alone, you get to know yourself on a deeper level, your passions, your beliefs, your strengths, and even your flaws. This self-awareness allows you to engage in relationships as your true self rather than molding yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Healthy relationships thrive when both individuals are comfortable being themselves. Another benefit of solitude is that it allows you to build self-confidence, which naturally attracts better relationships. When you rely on others for validation, you may accept mistreatment or feel pressured to please people in order to be liked. However, when you are secure in who you are, You set higher standards for how you allow others to treat you. Confident individuals attract people who respect and appreciate them rather than those who seek to take advantage of them. Spending time alone also teaches you patience when it comes to forming new connections. Instead of rushing into relationships out of loneliness, you learn to wait for meaningful and healthy connections to develop naturally. This patience ensures that the relationships you build are based on true compatibility and mutual understanding rather than desperation or convenience. Solitude helps you develop emotional independence, which strengthens all your relationships. When you are comfortable being alone, you do not place unrealistic expectations on others to make you happy or complete you. Instead, you enter relationships as a whole person, contributing positively rather than depending on them for your emotional well-being. This creates balanced, supportive, and lasting relationships rather than ones built on dependency. By embracing solitude, you also learn to appreciate quality over quantity in relationships. You realize that it is better to have a few deep, meaningful connections than to surround yourself with many shallow or toxic ones. This shift in mindset helps you attract and nurture relationships that truly add value to your life, leading to more fulfilling and genuine human connections. Many people go through life believing that they need someone else to complete them. Whether it's a romantic partner, friends, or family, society often reinforces the idea that we are not enough on our own. However, when you embrace solitude, you begin to realize that you are already whole. You do not need another person to define your worth or bring meaning to your life. You have everything you need within yourself. Spending time alone allows you to connect with your inner self in a way that is often overlooked in the presence of others. When you are constantly surrounded by people, their thoughts, opinions, and expectations can cloud your own sense of identity. But solitude gives you the opportunity to listen to yourself, reflect on your true desires, and understand who you are without external influence. This self-awareness helps you see that you are complete just as you are. Once you recognize your wholeness, you stop looking for people to fix you or fill emotional gaps in your life. Many people enter relationships expecting their partners or friends to heal their insecurities or provide them with happiness. But true happiness does not come from external sources, it comes from within. Solitude teaches you to take responsibility for your own fulfillment, ensuring that any relationships you form are based on love and mutual respect rather than neediness. Realizing that you are whole on your own also frees you from the fear of being alone. Many people stay in unhealthy relationships or maintain friendships that no longer serve them because they are afraid of solitude. However, when you truly understand your completeness, you no longer cling to relationships out of fear. Instead, you choose to surround yourself with people who genuinely add value to your life, rather than ones who simply fill an emotional void. This newfound independence leads to a deep sense of self-confidence. You no longer feel the need to seek validation from others because you understand your own worth. Whether you are in a relationship or single, surrounded by friends or spending time alone, your sense of self remains strong. You become less affected by the opinions of others because your confidence is rooted in an unshakable belief in yourself. Understanding that you are whole on your own also allows you to experience life more fully. When you rely on others for happiness, you may limit yourself based on their availability, interests, or approval. But when you embrace solitude, you begin to explore life on your own terms. You try new hobbies, travel alone, and pursue passions without waiting for someone else to join you. This independence brings a sense of freedom and fulfillment that cannot be found in external relationships alone. Additionally, realizing your completeness shifts the way you approach love and companionship. Instead of searching for someone to complete you, you seek connections that complement your already full life. You no longer settle for relationships that bring drama, insecurity, or dependency because you understand that you are perfectly fine on your own. This mindset attracts healthier, more meaningful relationships that enhance your happiness rather than define it. As you grow more comfortable with your own company, you develop a deep appreciation for yourself. You learn to enjoy your own thoughts, embrace your personal journey, and find peace in solitude. You stop searching for external sources of validation or fulfillment and instead cultivate a relationship with yourself that is built on love, respect, and acceptance. Stop being afraid to be alone. Instead, embrace it. Use that time to grow, to heal, to learn, and to become the best version of yourself. Solitude is not a punishment, it's a gift. A chance to reconnect with the most important person in your life, you. Thank you.